But first, focusing on Election Day issues. Welcome to BG Today. I'm Steve Iwanek.
And I'm Claire Mitchell. We're actually going to start off the show tossing it over to our BG24 reporter Sophia Walcher with all the details on Election Week. Sophie, it's a week away. Absentee ballots tell us everything we need to know.
Yes, Claire. Well, like you mentioned earlier, the midterm election is just nearing the finish line. So I thought it was time for a little vocab lesson. Now, if you didn't know already, midterm election actually stands for mid-presidential term. But just because they're not on this year's ticket doesn't make this election any less important. In fact, there are two state issues that voters should keep their eye on.
And staff are heading to the polls. But those doing their civic duty could get lost in translation in the voting booth. That's why I sat down with Hannah Boyle, one of the leaders of BGSU Votes, the on-campus voting initiative and organization. She explains why it's helpful to know ballot issues beforehand.
I know when I went to vote, I only had like 20 minutes, so reading a big long paragraph was not, necessarily feasible, so I looked beforehand and already knew which way I was going to vote on the issue.
So for those planning to vote, Boyle explains both of the state's issues on this year's ticket. Issue 1 focuses on how we set bail in Ohio.
Currently, bail is gone through a process and a procedures set by the Ohio Supreme Court, and this would seek to have it be more by the Ohio General Assembly and also consider things like public safety while they're setting the amount.
Issue 2 tackles non-citizens' voting rights. Right now, Ohio non-citizens can vote in local elections because they pay taxes, but new legislation would seek to tighten eligibility.
Only a citizen of the U.S., at least 18 years of age or older, who has been a legal citizen and registered voter for at least 30 days in the state that they want to vote in, could vote in those state elections and local elections. And essentially, that means that anybody who does not fit into that category who can vote in state elections cannot vote on local elections that would affect those like tax things, like tax levies and different local things that you would vote on.
Now, when it comes to the language of the ballot itself, the options listed are yes or no, which you want to read that more as for or against. So if you vote yes, then you agree with what the ballot is proposing. Now, if you think that things should stay the way that they are or are in favor of an alternative proposal, that would mean voting no. Reporting live for BG24, Sophia Walcher. Bringing it back to you, Claire.
Thank you so much, Sophia.